Christos Anesti, Christ is risen. Hey everyone, it's your host Paladin Hansen back at it again with another video. And in this video series we'll be doing a lengthy series on Moses and the parallels between Moses and Jesus. You know, many people want to know who is the prophet most like Moses in Deuteronomy 18:18. Many Muslims make the claim that it is Muhammad, and the Christians make the claim that it is Yeshua. And obviously I'm in the camp of the Christians, and so we're going to be making the case that it is obviously and definitely Yeshua that is the prophet most like Moses, described in Deuteronomy 18:18, and we're going to be going over the near endless parallels between Moses and Jesus, Moshe, and Yeshua in these parallels. This is going to be part 1, and so if you're a Muslim or if you're a Christian watching, just sit back, relax, and get something sweet to eat and enjoy these videos, because this is absolutely going to be amazing. And so I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Here we begin our journey with Moses' name, Moshe in Hebrew and Musa in Arabic. The world's 3 main monolithic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all revere the prophet Moses, and one essential verse hinges on a coming prophet. In Deuteronomy 18:18 it reads, "I will raise up a Nevi, a prophet, from among their countrymen, like you, Moses, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him." Now from this passage we can understand in full context about 3 details about this prophet. Many Muslims have argued that this prophet described in Deuteronomy 18:18 is Muhammad. Many Muslims have stated that the prophet described is in reference to Muhammad, when in fact, looking at Deuteronomy 18:18, we can learn 3 important details about this prophet to come. First, by looking at the verse, we know that he is a prophet, for it is written, "I will raise up a prophet." 2, we know that this prophet is going to be from among their countrymen, so this prophet is of Israelite descent. This right here disqualifies Muhammad, for Muhammad was an Arab, and non-Israelite, and Gentile. And thirdly, this Nevi, this prophet, is going to be the most like Moses. So, what are we looking for? We are looking for parallels in literary themes between Moses and a coming prophet that is going to be the most like Moses and is of Israel, is of the stock of Israel. So Muhammad, by being an Arab of Ishmaelite descent, disqualifies him, whereas Yeshua is qualified, Yeshua ben Joseph, and is to be this prophet that is in Deuteronomy 18:18. And to find this prophet is not in the Quran, but in the Injil, the Brit Chadashah. In fact, in Jeremiah 31:31 it reads, "Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah a new covenant, a Brit Chadashah." In the Gospel book of John, chapter 5, 45-47, Yeshua states, "Do not think that I will accuse you before the Father, Abba. The one who accuses you is Moses, in whom you have set your hope. For if you believed Moses, you would believe me, for he wrote about me. But if you do not believe his writings, how will you believe my words?" Which is a neat nod by Jesus to Deuteronomy 18:18, that he is this prophet, this coming prophet. So, if Yeshua is considered a prophet in Islam already, is it already a far stretch that we know that Yeshua is of Israel? No, we know this as well. And this qualifies him for the third and final factor, the parallels between Moses and Jesus. And these parallels are going to be near endless. In this series, we will show undeniable proof of Yeshua and Moshe being the ones described here in reference to not only Moses being told this coming prophet, but Yeshua being this coming prophet instead of Muhammad. For our first parallel, let's start with Moshe in the Torah. In the book of Shemot, Exodus 1:8, "Now a new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph." This expounds later further on the severity and cruelty of this new ruler in Exodus 1:22. Then Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, Every son who is born you are to cast into the Nile, and every daughter you are to keep alive. Now, as we can see, Moses was born during a time when the people of God suffered under a cruel leader. In the Brit Chadashah, the New Testament, the Injil in Arabic, in the Gospel book of Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 to 2, it reads, Now in those days a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that a census be taken of all the inhabited earth. This was the first census taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. So both Yeshua and Moshe were born during foreign rule, and in Matthew 2:16 it expounds further and states that when Herod, Hordos in Hebrew, saw that he had been tricked by the Magi, he became very enraged and sent and slew all the male children who were in Bethlehem, Beit Lechem, and all its vicinity, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had determined from the Magi. So as we read from both Moses and Jesus' life, they were both born under foreign rulers, but also cruel rulers, leaders who would kill male Hebrew boys. In both parallels we can see this quite evidently. And so there is our first check mark. We'll put a check mark on that one. Now let's move on to our second parallel with Moses being from a priestly line. In Exodus 2:1 it states of Moses' Levitical line, Now a man, Amram, from the house of Levi, went and married a daughter of Levi, Jochebed. And of course, Jesus is also of a priestly lineage as well, but not under the Levitical order of Aaron, but under the ancient and forever-lasting order of Melchizedek. In the Zabur, the Psalms of David, is Psalm 110, verse 4. The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. In the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, the entire book of Hebrews centralizes on this focal point of Christ and his priestly lineage. Just as he says in another passage in Hebrews 5:6, You are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. Now who is this Melchizedek? And when is he first mentioned? Melchizedek is actually mentioned in Genesis 14:18 of the Torah. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. Now he was a priest of God Most High. Now there is so much to unpack with Melchizedek that he alone, this whole topic deserves its own special video series. But as we can see, both Jesus and Moses are of a priestly lineage. Moses being of a Levitical line, but Yeshua being of the order of Melchizedek, a much older order, a much older priesthood. Moving on to our third parallels, both Moshe and Yeshua were both hidden in Egypt as children. In Exodus 2:2 it states, The woman, Jochebed, conceived and bore a son, Moshe, and when she saw that he was beautiful, she hid him for 3 months. In Matthew 2:13 we can read in the Gospel of Matthew, Now when they had gone, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said, Get up, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you. For Herod, Hordos in Hebrew, is going to search for the child to destroy him. So both were hiding in Egypt as children, and we can put a check mark on that parallel as well. In Exodus 2:3, it states, And when she, Moses, mother of Jochebed, could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, a Tebat of Gome, and daubed it with pitch, and put the child, Moses, therein, and laid it in the reeds by the river's brink. Now, I don't know about what others have to say about this, but this is one odd baby crib. In Luke 2:12 in the Gospels, we read, And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in clothes, lying in a manger. So as we can see from both Moshe being wrapped in an ark of bulrushes, a Tebat of Gome, And we can see as well from Jesus being in a manger's crib are both odd and unique baby cribs. So there is a parallel on that. Put a check mark on that one. On to our next parallel, we can go to Exodus 2:3. And when she, Jochebed, could no longer hide him, being Moses, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, a Tebat Gome, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the Yeled, the child, therein, and she laid it in the reeds by the river's brink. This word here for reeds is suf, and you might have heard of this word suf before. For example, Yom Suf. Yom Suf is actually the word for the Reed Sea, or the Sea of Reeds in Hebrew when you translate it into English, and it's also the Red Sea. So somewhere along the way, the E got dropped, I don't know. But the point is that, what are we looking at here? We're looking at the Tebat Gome and the Ark of Bulrushes, and Moshe was hidden in the Ark of Bulrushes. So in this parallel, we can see that Moses, was in the Ark of the Bulrushes. And we also know that Yeshua was in the Ark of the Bulrushes, so we can put a check mark on that one. Wait, but when was Yeshua in the Ark of the Bulrushes? Let's take a closer look at the Tebat Gome, the Ark of the Bulrushes. The word Gome in Hebrew is a three-letter word, Gimel, Mem, and Aleph. One of those letters, the middle one, Mem, is a Sophite letter in Hebrew. So you can see here in this slide the letter Mem and the Mem Sophite. The Sophite plays a huge role in the theological concepts of Hebrew literature and art and calligraphy in general. Depending where the position of the letter Mem is in a word can give it an open or closed Mem, the Mem Sophite. The letter Mem is the number 40 in Gematria and symbolizes water and chaos. If we move to the word Tebat, Tebat means ark in Hebrew. It's a three-letter word consisting of two tavs and a bet. The tav, as many know, means a mark or a cross, and you put two cross sticks in the ground, and it's a promise you make between man or God. And the letter bet means house. It doesn't take much to see the huge prophetic reference of Yeshua being the bait, the house that God dwelt in. And Yeshua was placed in between two tavs. Yeshua is that Tebat, the ark, that prophet, the noon nailed to the cross. And when we take that Tebat and put it in the open Mem of Gome, and remember, Mem is very much tied with water, this Tebat Gome. And so when we put the open Mem of Gome and we put that Tebat in the open Mem of Gome, the Mem Sophite represents lakes and ponds, whereas an open Mem symbolizes flowing waters like oceans, rivers, and streams. The letter Mem also ties in with woman. In fact, the calligraphy of the letter looks like a woman in pregnancy. So when we put that Tebat in the Gome, we actually get the Immaculate Conception. So understanding the Tebat Gome, we can see the prophetic parallel of Moshe and Yeshua and the blessed Theotokos and her womb. In Hebrew Gematria, the word for father is Ab, and the word for mother is Ima. Ab adds up to 3, and Ima adds up to 41. 41 plus 3 is 44. Yeled, the word for child in Hebrew, adds up to 44. So you can see the math, and that this is no coincidence. This Tebat Gome is a symbol of the Trinity. Gimel is 3, Mem is 40, and Aleph is 1. This Gome adds up to 44 as well. Both Yeled and Gome add up to 44, showing that these two words are connected. In Isaiah 9:6 it reads, "For unto us a child, a Yeled, is born, but a Ben, a son, is given." Also the word for blood, Dam, adds up to 44. So the word for blood, Dam, the word for child, Yeled, and the word for bulrushes, Gome, all add up to 44, showing their mathematical connection with one another. And so I am making the definitive case that both Moshe and Yeshua were both hidden in a Tebat of Gome, a ark of bulrushes, or a basket of bulrushes. Both Moses and Yeshua were in the Tebat Gome. Moshe being in the ark of the bulrushes, the basket of bulrushes, and Yeshua being in his mother's womb, the Theotokos' blessed womb, which should be the safest place for a child. Maybe not with all the abortions today, but, you know, it should be the safest place for a child. And so both are the ark of the bulrushes, the Tebat Gome. Well, we're going to stop it right there for part 1 with the Immaculate Conception and the Tebat Gome. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1. There's going to be many, many more parallels between Moshe, and Yeshua. And so I hope you guys enjoy this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Take care. Christ is risen.